My name is Diane Huffman. I'm the president of Women's Sport International, and I've been working with Carol and Mooney for the last 15, 20 years on development of using sport as a tool for development for both the security of athletes and for increasing opportunities for girls and women to participate in sport. I work as a consultant, and I've been working with the Norwegian Olympic and Paralympic Committee and Confederation of Sports during the time that I've been working with the Zambian Judo Association. And together we've been on a very interesting journey working with refugees in Zambia, Malawi, and Zimbabwe, and actually South Africa as well. But Mooney and Carol will tell you their story. So thank you very much.
Yeah, my name is Mabvuto. Like I said, I'm the General Secretary, Judo Association of Zambia. I've been General Secretary since 2015. Carol is my administrative director, and Diane, we knew each other a long way back when she was still working with NIF. We've developed so many programs together, and we've implemented a lot of them. And one of the most important programs that we initiated together with the support of NIF, with the consultation of Diane, was the Judo for Peace. The Judo for Peace was an initiative of the International Judo Federation since 2007 for the purposes of inclusion of our colleagues from the refugees and children with disabilities and the women participation in sport. So in brief, that's what it is.
My name is Carol Chipupu. I'm the Administrative Director for Judo Association of Zambia, and I'm also the Judo for Peace Director in the Southern region of Africa here. So I coordinate Judo for Peace, that's Judo for the refugees in the Southern region of Africa. And so far, our project is running smoothly in 4 countries. That's Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, and also South Africa.
So refugee camps are temporary facilities that have been built to provide immediate protection and assistance to people who have been forced to flee from their homes due to war, persecution, or violence. And while the camps are not established to provide permanent solutions, they offer a haven for refugees and try to meet their most basic needs, such as food, water, shelter, medical treatment, and other basic services during emergencies. But there are situations where they're very long-term and there's long-term displacement. So the services provided in the camps are expanded, and they include education and livelihood opportunities, as well as materials to build more permanent homes to help people rebuild their lives, whereby the camp is established more as a settlement than just as an emergency location.
In Zambia, we've got more than 106,000 refugees in the 3 refugee camps. And these refugees, most of them come from Somali, Burundi, Congo, Angola, and Rwanda. So most of them have settled in Zambia. Actually, they're former refugees, that's what they call them, because they've been here. Some of them have been here more than 40 years. So they've settled in the camps. So they've got permanent shelters there. They've got farms they cultivate. They've got livestock, and their children have grown up in camps. They've got schools there, which are permanent education systems, which the Zambian government is funding the teachers, or maybe paying the teachers who are recruited in these areas, and also health workers, as well as the police service in the camp. So the camps are not really like, let's say, maybe temporal shelters. Most of them, they're just permanent shelters that are there. So it's not like a temporary camp that they have. Most of them have stayed there more than 40 years, who are now called former refugees because they've resettled here in Zambia, but they're still living in the restricted areas, which are now called refugee settlements.
Through the support of NIF, we launched Judo for Peace in Maheba on the 19th of November 2016. The objectives or the promotion that we embarked on under our structured developmental plan was that we need to promote inclusion, which includes the refugees, the children with disabilities, and the women participation in sport. So we looked at the refugee camps, and we started working with the refugees officer, the community development sports coordinator, also UNHCR through the national regional office, through the national office, and also the coordinators that are attached to the refugee camp. So Maheba was a starting point for us to get involved into working with the refugees. So by virtue of my position as General Secretary, as the implementer of the programs, and one of the activities that was supposed to be implemented in 2016 was to launch Judo for Peace in the refugee camp. So that's how I got involved, and we started with about 200 or 200, I think 80 children that registered at first. And of course, this developed, and we started the capacity development programs as well for the refugees in terms of coaching, in terms of referring and administration, and also just for us to provide the accessibility to the refugees in terms of participation in sport. Through the support of NIF, we built a judo hall in 2018 in Maheba. And having been successful with the project in Maheba, we also requested to expand to the other 3 refugee camps. That's Maikwayukwa and Mantapala. So in 2021, we launched again Maikwayukwa refugee camp.
Working with refugees was a part of leaving no one behind in terms of the Sustainable Development Goals. And of course, with my passion for engaging girls and women in sport, I was able to work closely with the Judo Association in assisting to sort of develop the overall program in the sense of its principles and guidelines. So we facilitated the effort together. We proposed a budget where the Norwegian Olympic and Paralympic Committee and Confederation of Sports got involved and supported the issue. Their funding is from their Norwegian Development Agency. So it's direct from the Norwegian Olympic Committee, which is called NIF. But this is what Mooney is referring to when he says NIF. And so they've supported the project as it met with their development goals. And because it was such a need. Also, if you look at the Olympic movement, they started to engage a refugee category in 2016 Olympics. And so it just met beautifully with the objectives of the sports sector to build a sport in refugee camps. One of the main reasons for judo is judo has very strong principles and guidance in terms of lifestyle. It's not just the sport, but it's training young people to have respect for each other and to be inclusive just in the way that the sport is operating. And so this was one of the reasons we thought judo would work so well.
Judo is not just a sport. Judo is the way of life, like Diane said. So judo is an educational tool that is used to change the lives of the people in the society, and as well as the implementation of its values and principles. So some of the values of judo include respect, of course, politeness, courage, control of oneself, modesty, sincerity, and so forth. So as we implement Judo to change the lives of the people by creating that opportunity for everyone to get involved, and also which provides opportunity of job opportunities at times, like one of the benefits, of course, of the refugees getting involved in Judo is that we capacity build them in terms of coaching, in terms of administration, in terms of refereeing, in terms of technical knowledge. By way of doing that, some of them, they also earn a living by way of receiving a stipend at the end of the month and getting involved. Some of them also, apart from the social interaction and entertainment, they have that opportunity to travel out. So in terms of behavior-wise, they learn the values and the principles of Judo in terms of respect, in terms of being polite to people, being positive in the society. This Judo for Peace program has provided so many benefits. The impact is that it has brought together different nationalities from different countries together, when before they were living in isolation. Apart from providing social cohesion, it has also empowered the refugees in terms of education, like we said. Also creating so many interaction with other refugees from Malawi, Zimbabwe, and in Zambia, and also apart from within the region, we have the refugees that are now working together from Mantapala, Maikwayukwa, and Maheba. Also, it has given that opportunity to compete with the locals within Zambia and also within Malawi and Zimbabwe. They are working together, competing together, giving that opportunity for them to compete and practice Judo at all levels. Also, we have some judokas who are now trained as referees, and some are trained as coaches. They have traveled to Zimbabwe to go and take part in the technical coaching courses. Some of them have traveled to Malawi. Some of them have traveled to Zambia from Malawi. So this has really impacted on the way of their lives. Like I said, Judo is the way of life.
We're trying to build a better society. And through Judo, I think the impact is seen, and the benefits are visible. And we've got a lot of testimonies where we have judokas who are now completing schools. Even girls are now going to schools. They're training Judo. In the past, like in Maheba, I can give an example. When we started Judo there, a lot of girls withdrew because they thought that it was male-dominated sport, so they couldn't train Judo. But then just to make sure that we have more girls training, we had to send a local coach who's female. So after the coach went there, I think we've seen a number of girls and parents encouraging their children, their girl child, to train Judo so that they can also learn some tactics to defend themselves in case of maybe rape or maybe just violence, because the refugee camp, there are a lot of vices there. So I think the impact is there, especially for the girls. We've seen changes. We've seen girls how they're going back to school to just get education and also to involve themselves in sports.
Just in seeing the difference in terms of attitude and drug use, reduction of drug use with the participants, with the children who or youth that are participating in sport. These are issues in camps too, just like they are probably because people are depressed. They're in a state of difficulty without having a home base or feeling that they have no home, that this is temporary. And even though they're there for 20 years, they still feel it's temporary. And when will they get back home? And so having the opportunity to participate in sport and their children to grow up participating in sport and actually growing in the sport, where they can have the opportunity to become a coach, to become a leader, these have been a really important aspects to the program.
Of course, our goals or our future plans is to ensure that we have a better society, especially in the refugee camps, even in other communities. And also for our judokas in the refugee camps, because it's always their dream when they started judo. Of course, they've seen other judokas from the refugees, under the refugees compete in the highest competitions, such as the Olympics. So also, our future goals, of course, is to make sure that we take a number of participants from these refugees to go and participate in the Olympics. And we're working towards that. If you see, one of our objectives or 5-year objective is to create competition for our judokas within the country, within the region, and also at international level. We already have 2 girls who were identified during our regional games here in Lusaka. The International Judo Federation has identified 2 girls who will be sponsored fully to participate in the international games, international competitions, which would allow them to qualify for the Olympics. So that's one of our main future goals that we have. And we also want to make sure that most of our refugees who've passed through judo, they have a better future within the refugee or outside the refugee camp, because we're undertaking a lot of capacity building for them. Like we're developing capacity building through administration courses, referring courses, as well as coaching courses. So we just look for a better society in future.